Hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing and whoever you are lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I am Bushka on Blitz and I'm doing it today in the Object 140. Now this wee little ripper is a tank I was desperate to have a crack in after the patch with the nerfs to the penetration and the huge turret armor nerfs that occurred, just to see how she performed, how she went. But I mean, the French got in the way, bloody French. They were good fun to review. I've done the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 French tanks at the moment. Reviewed them fully and am pretty happy with the results. So now we can knuckle down and do a few other things. Big day today. I just launched Bushka on boats. Legit. It's a real thing. Bushka on boats. I've got a video going up there today. I'm going to put a link to the channel somewhere on the front of the YouTube page. If you're ever interested in World of Warships or watching some salty seamen run around the place, that could be the place to go. Bushka on boats. You heard it here first. Object 140 got hammered in the turret nerf, the turret armor nerf, and a penetration nerf on your heat rounds and such, and a little bit of a nerf on your APCR. And a lot of people moaned and said it was the end of it all and it was all over. And I'll tell you what I have noticed. I've noticed a distinct lack of Object 140s and T62As in the game anywhere. And I'll tell you something else. That suits me just fine. Because I've had absolutely no drop-off in terms of play of this tank. I think it absolutely defines the way I play the game. I don't really ever use the 140 and the 62A to just sit still and bounce shots. And their turrets, while they were extremely useful for me, were certainly not anything to do with my playstyle. My playstyle is a far more conservative, sneaky playstyle that relies on a lot of guile and thought more so than anything else. And the biggest benefits for me for these tanks has always been the raw mass DPM that they bring to the table, and the speed and mobility and their camouflage. And none of those things got nerfed. So I've had absolutely no drop-off in terms of what I get out of these tanks, which is glorious, because now I don't have to deal with 4 or 5 of them in every game, because now there's 4 or 5 TDs in every game. I mean, it's simple stuff like brawling like that. Now, you're going to note here, there is one thing that you will see, the penetration nerf. If you don't really take your time on shots on some of these bigger, heavier tanks like IS-7s with proper bugger-off armor profiles, then you will absolutely miss. And I've missed 4 easy shots there. None of them were flat surfaces, though, so I probably deserved it. And you can do a whole lot of damage in this tank. I've always said that the best armor you can possibly have is not being seen. And there are very few tanks in the game, at tier 10 especially, there's none really, let's be honest, that can not be seen the way an Object 140 can not be seen. It's got the best camo profile in its tier. That's important to remember, because it means that if you have these 3 basic skills down, resetting camouflage is the big one. Like when you are seen, get unseen, let that spotting drop so you're no longer on the radar, and then have a crack. Situational awareness, so you know where the other tanks are most likely to be. And I mean, that's absolutely massive. And patience. If you can do those 3 things, if you can be patient in this thing, you will still kick so much ass. It has the same DPM as a Leo. It's got better camo than a Leo. It's lower to the ground than a Leo. It's still freaking amazing as a tank. And you saw how much I pumped out APCR-wise then. I was really making an effort to just fire APCR there, so you could see, even with the penetration nerfs, you can just put up monster amounts. There's basic brawling skills. Now, I've done a couple of videos called, I think it was Brawling Breakdown or Tactical Brawling, whatever. Going through those things, you need to look those up. You'll see them. They're in the game improvement section of the bushkaonblitz.com website. Check those out, because they apply to all tanks, particularly this one. Now, this is a video of the 140 on Black Goldville. The reason, look at that, STB1 has gone far too aggressively there for my liking. He can probably play, but he's now really up amongst it, because you can see how many TDs there are again on the other team. 3 TDs. 3 TDs, no object 140s. This is the whole new meta. It really has changed. And this was important because I wanted to see how this thing went hull down here. And I learnt an important lesson. Number one, that if they tunnel you and just sit there, they will eventually get one into you. Now, I think it's the 183 that hits me there. He is just going to look at me for ages in a sec. Now, I'm sitting here hull down. It's not the armor that's going to help me here. It's the fact that I constantly reset the camo behind that big rock. Then I come out and I get my next shot in completely from stealth. And you're going to see there's a 268, a 183, and I think there's another TD, the E4. They all just tunnel me. They're basically looking for me. They've got the poos with me, really. They're quite upset with me because I've been sitting here having a free reign. There's a 268. He shot me. I thought, okay, that's free and clear. I'll come out here. No. It was the 183 that was just tunneling me. But that's cool. Now I'm aware of that. I can adjust for it. And I don't know that that's really a lot to do with the armor nerf. That's more just bad driving on my part. You always had a weak top of turret on this thing. And I'm not certain that wouldn't have gone in anyway. But you're noting the way I play this tank is so... I'm at the front line, but look how much better it is than that STB1. It's so sleek and so low to the ground that it can get away with all these different moments where you know, you put shots in and then you're back and they don't really have anything to aim at. And the camouflage resets and then you go out and you do it again. And it's got nothing to do with your tank being nerfed. And I'm using mostly APCR in all these games and still doing really, really well. I drove it with Mac the Knife this morning. You can see Macky's running around in the T110E4 and just had a whale of a time. Really did. Switching to the wrong round there. Heat's still enough to get through most of these guys. And you can move this tank. And you're going to see... Basically, I'm just going to out-knowledge this poor old E100 with experience. All I need to do is draw one more shot out of him. And he's in real strife. And he's silly enough to fire a shot. And that is just going to go right up my alley. There we go. Pull him back. He goes for the desperate shot. And he's only got 42 hit points left. That's all there is to it. Now, Mackey's there in the E4. He's got my left, which is fantastic. I've just been working this corner. I mean, you've probably seen me do this in a lot of videos. T54 video I did prior. And there's a little spot there you can get through the driver's hatch. Thank you very much. Even angled on an IS4, there is a spot to go through if you know where to aim. I'm going to push out here, just trying to draw a shot out of that IS4. They didn't nerf the upper glacis. Like the upper glacis, I've had some fantastic bounces. We're still getting shots in here. The PTA is going to push all the way around, and Mac is going to give him the big don't argue. And there we go. We're now starting to swing it like we mean it, getting the ascendancy here, missing one in the FV1 183. Going to push around into the E4, just not giving them any targets, not giving them any chances to hit me. I've taken one shot the entire game. I mean, armor schmarma. If you know how to play your medium tanks, you're not doing it by just sucking up a big armor profile. There's only a few mediums that I feel that you can really reliably do that in. The 54 mod 1, for instance, at times the T59. They're the kind of meds that you can still get away with that thing in. But yeah, this tank, I never played it like that. I still get the upper glacis bounces, and I get heaps of them actually. And the upper glacis is as strong as ever. Yeah, it really does do the business. I'm going to show you another game here where I get slaughtered in the end on Winter Melanovka. And me and Mac make a very good effort of it. The Object 140 game, the first one you saw, was with me and Mr. Ouija. A big part of this is both games I'm driving with 150mm TDs, tier 10 TDs. In this game, I'm driving the 62A though, and Mac's in the E4 again. Now, this is what I'm doing here. I've told them negative. I've said bail. The FV has managed to get out of there. There's an E50 there who hasn't. I'm kind of fighting a rearguard action here because there are 5 mediums, and I'm going to take one here. I just say that's enough. Like, I'm not going to sit there and play peekaboo with 5 medium tanks. I will end up just slaughtered. We've got 4 guys up the top who are capping C. They've obviously got A. That E50 is just screwed. There's nothing I can do about it. I've tried to support him. I gave him 300 of my hit points, and that's all you can really expect. I'm going to try and get some shots in here on these guys as they move across, and just play a general rearguard action. The FV4202's doing the same thing. Pretty positive play from him here in this one. It's a loss, but I want to show you it's all about play style. I can't emphasize this enough. And this is why I say good players like, Perfect Mind and really good players, they will make damage in anything. You can give them a skateboard, give them a scooter with like a slingshot, and they'll give you 3k every game. Because they don't give a rat's about the limitations of the tank. They make fewer mistakes and they put themselves in better positions. And that's all I'm doing with the 140 and the 62A. And the thing they haven't changed about that is the gun works like a dream, and they do 3,000 bloody DPM raw. I mean, look at their 62A and their 54, and they're bleeding hit points from me and the FV4202 because they don't really care. I'm working the numbers. Mac's in trouble there, so I figure the only possible way we can do anything here is to get down and use Mac as the leverage, and I'm going to try and put shots in. Now, I'm going to die here, but I am going to get effective fire into a whole bunch of different targets and just push into the middle of them. And I'm going to use the very, very small profile of my Rusky medium and the agility of the 62A, which has incredible agility, to hit these guys and put damage in. And Mac's pushed up there on the right, so I'm using him. I'm coming down here looking for shots. There's a 54, 62A. We get one off the turret. Lovely to get a bounce, never knock one back. And then we're going to go hog wild around this corner, get this object 140, then move on down, put another shot into the 15. Upper Glacis still works as advertised. Get another shot into the grill. And we're just surrounded. It's just all over. You can't do anything else. It's over. But that's just sensible play with a tank that is a sensible tank and has incredible damage per minute, fantastic agility, speed, and camouflage. And we put up 3-3 in a losing environment. Mac did the best he could, held the line in the 1-4. The FV played quite well withdrawing, and we just got beat by 7 other guys. But the tank wasn't the issue. I'll show you a quick thing here. Look at the upper glacis. Yeah, if you get used to angling this upper glacis at all times, like you should be in all your Russian meds, you'll get bounces so often. Watch this. I angle to the 268, and then just naturally, instinctively, I get the bounce. I angle to the E100. I get the bounce. These are things that you will do in this tank, in the 140 and the 62A, and you'll figure it out. I mean, this is another 140 game. It's another valiant effort in a losing field where my entire team YOLOs the cap and gets wrecked. And then it's just me slowly pedaling backwards, doing damage as I go. And yeah, long story short, Bushka still likes the 140. So remember, check out Bushka on Bushka on Boats. Stick around, subscribe to the videos and the channel, and like everything, and be happy and look after your mum, and just be generally nice to everyone. Be good to the humans. I'm Bushka on Blitz. You guys and girls are lovely. I hope you enjoyed my little serenade yesterday when I did the Derp Diaries. There's more of that coming, I guess, eventually. Until next time, stay safe on the battlefield, and bye for now.